Hello everyone and welcome to Jim's Code Corner. My name is Jim Belcher. Today we're going to continue working on our Cardstox application. As you can see here on our Trello board, we are working on viewing the cards within the application. If you remember last time we had our get our database set up, we wrote the liquid-based script to actually build our table we're going to use for the cards. Today we're going to put some fake data in there and then we're going to build a service to actually retrieve that data. In just a heads up, on the next couple of episodes, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to then be testing that service using, I believe I'm going to choose either Postman, Rest Assured, or Rest Assured, possibly both. And I want to try to actually use a Docker container to do an integration test with the database. Once we get the testing done, then I'm going to go through and actually containerize the application and deploy it. I'm thinking to probably just a Heroku for now, but that should be plenty enough to get the point across on how we can deploy this thing with a Docker. With that all being said, so we got a heads up what's coming up in the next few episodes. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's continue working on this thing. So if I switch over back to our Spring Tool Suite, you remember we had our dummy endpoint here that just took us to say hello world, nothing special. I'm actually going to delete that guy because we obviously don't really need that, just for cleanup. I'm going to now create a new package for our controllers. Controllers. And I'm going to create a new class. And I'm going to call this Cards Controller. Alright. I'm going to annotate this guy with rest controller. And I'm going to put a request mapping. And let's see, I believe it's, if I remember off the top of my head, you think I'd have this down at just enough. Value equals / cards. If it isn't right, we will fix it. No big deal. Alright, do -30 imports, Command-Shift-O, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll create a, you know what, let's do this TDD style, let's do this the right way. But I got in the habit of doing it the right way, let's continue doing it that way. I'm not sure what I'm thinking writing that first, that's weird. Controllers. So let's create a test package here called controllers, same deal. I'm going to add another class to this. And this is just going to be a basic unit test. It's going to test like the end-to-end or anything like that. We'll do that in another video. And that's what I was talking about when we use Rest Assured, or we actually might use the Spring test suite. We might do all three of that in Postman, just because, you know, can you ever have too many tests? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and do that. Start with the unit test as. So cards controller tests. Alright, and we'll run with Makito JUnit runner.class. We'll go ahead and I'm just going to say inject mocks. I know we're not going to, well, I guess we will be injecting mocks, so we're good. Inject mocks. Not sure what that's for. We're going to do this into the cards controller. I like to call it subject, personal preference. And I know I'm going to need a mock of the cards service, which obviously does not exist yet because we've never created it. Okay, next we will write a test, and public void test should call find all cards. So I'm going to call my method here, and since should find all cards and return list of cards. Okay. So there's a few things here in order to make this compilable. We're going to have to do. Let's continue writing our test first, and I suppose we can get on into all that in a moment. If you're wondering what shortcut key I'm using, by the way, I'm on a Mac, and I'm using Command-Shift-O, which does all the imports for me. Okay, so, excuse me. The next thing to do, array test, we're just going to make sure when we call this card service, find all cards, we're going to verify that that's called, we're going to write a mock for it, and then we're going to actually verify that we're getting a list back and not a null value. So that's all we really can test in this case. It's a pretty simple test. So let's do, I like to do my given when then. I figure a lot of life's problems can be solved by just thinking this way. So given when the cards service dot find all cards dot then return, and we're going to need a list. So list of card, we'll call it cards equals a new, I think we might have this available to us, arrays dot to list. No. How about list dot, I don't think, I did. I don't have guava in there. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. New array list. If it starts annoying me enough, I will import it. Okay, so there's a few things need to be imported here. Command-Shift-O. Yes, we want the list. And unfortunately, we can't do card because card doesn't exist. Obviously, card service doesn't exist. And I don't need to actually populate this list or anything because it's just going to return what I tell it to anyway. So that's going to be part of my test. I'm just validating that I am going to get a value back, and that's not going to be null. So cards. Okay. So this is all going to happen when subject dot find all cards, which is going to be the name of our function, our method inside of our controller class. Now there's a couple of assertions we're going to run here. The first one is going to be a verify cards service. Apparently cards is very difficult for me to type today. Find all cards. And if you remember from my previous videos or experience with Makito, we know that if I do a verify like this, that I am basically saying I am verifying that this method is being called one time. Keep in mind, if I wanted to, I could add more matches in here, like never or at least once or something along those lines. I'm just verifying this is actually being called as one time. That's all I really need for that test. But now I want to do assert that, and here's where I'm probably going to run into some issue. Oh my goodness. Let's see, I actually found it. I don't know what to say. Actual and a matcher. So the actual let's see, is going to be cards. No, what am I thinking? Subject. It's going to be a list of card. Result equals. The result will be not. Let's do the import. What do I choose on assertions? Not ham crust. I think that's what I'm looking for. There we go. Yeah. So the result is not a null value. Okay. So there's our unit test. This obviously is not going to pass because stuff doesn't exist. But I suppose we should confirm that. Yep, go ahead and save the controller. Oh, they can't even compile. Oh, shocking. Okay. So let's write just enough code to make this thing compile, then we'll actually be able to run the test. So we need a couple things here. We need a service, which is going to be an interface. We need an object, card. So There's 2 items here that we need. Let's go ahead and write some stuff. So we need a couple new packages as well. So packages. And the first one is going to be services. We're going to write an interface. Card service. I'm going to refactor what I put there in the test because it should be card service, not cards service. We can see now we can import that, which will solve one of our issues. This find all card now we need to put in here. So this find all card is going to return a list of card, and we'll call it find all cards, and there we go. Command Shift O to import list, and we still gotta make this card item here, but we should see a few of our errors here had gone away. So let's go ahead and we need to make another package. I'm just going to call this one cars.entities, and we will make it a class. We will call this card. And this is, in a little bit, when we get there, we will actually map that to our database using Hibernate and JPA and all those fun things. Okay, so it's like a lot of our errors are going away now. Undefined for type cards controller. Oh, yeah, of course it would be. Alright, so we got some more imports here. Let's say let's do a static import for when. Let's do a static import for verify. Let's do a assert that. I thought it already imported that. It did right there. Why am I still getting an error there? And I'll save this guy too. Not sure why we're getting an error. Let's try this one. No, doesn't like that either. Maybe it's because this method here is just seeing an error. So let's go ahead and create this guy in the controller. Let's work on that, getting the whole thing compiled here. We don't need to put a request mapping here because we already had this basic one here for cards, and this is going to be a get so for the cards, so it'll be fine. So public list card, and we'll call it find all cards, and we'll return null for now, just enough to make it compile. Let's make these errors go away. Obviously it was not a real controller, it ain't gonna do anything yet. And this one is just being a mystery right now. I think I might, because this doesn't seem right to me, we're using the null value from ham crust, which is what I want. But that don't seem right. And this don't seem right. It's not giving me assert that. The method assert that matcher in type is not applicable for arguments list and not filter. Okay. So it's literally just a syntax error. So it's probably because you need to do not null value. Hey, looky there. And just because we're here, and this annoys me, I save it, those being there just bothers me. So let's go ahead and just fix that up right now while I'm thinking about it. That's not on system preferences. No. This is where my confusion of working in a Mac here and working on a Windows machine at work error really gets to me. Oh goodness, I am completely lost now. I know it's right here. Save. There we go. And save actions. Perform. Format the lines. Organize imports. additional actions. I do want that. Let's see here. Trigger is fine. Remove the unused imports. And I think that's good for now. Apply and close. Yeah, I'll save it. Let's put space and save it. There we go. So it cleans up things a little bit for me. Nice. That's why we use IDEs. It does some of the annoying work for us. Okay, so now we have a endpoint here. And if I'm going to, I guess I should run that test in the true fashion of TDD here. And we will see, oh, still not compiling. Interesting. Well, what is the issue? Yeah, this is my still not good commit there. Okay. Apparently I have an error somewhere, but it's invisible. I'm not exactly sure where that error is. So when this happens, we can do, let's refresh project first of all. Let's make sure I have the latest and greatest. Project clean. Don't see anything wrong here. You notice that little bug error thing went away there. So maybe that was just, maybe it just needs to be cleaned out a bit. Let's try that. Run as a JUnit test. That doesn't seem to be the issue. Okay, one but not invoked, card service, find all cards. Okay, so let's add a request mapping. Value equals slash HTTP, oh boy, request method, so I'm looking for. Is it method? It is. Method equals HTTP method dot get. Oh, and it's not happy. What did I do wrong? Oh, request method. There we go. So it's going to do a get request only accept the get request for slash, which is cards, which in true REST fashion means get all the cards. Find all cards, kind of appropriate. Okay, so let's write enough code to make that test pass. So we need to Autowire. And we need to Autowire in the card service. Card service. Okay. Command Shift O, do my imports. There that is. And we will just do a very simple card service dot find all cards. Rerun my test. And we're green. So our controller for this method is done. Let's move on to the service. Should be equally as easy. So we got our services here. And I put it in the wrong spot, as we can see. I put it all in the test, which does not belong there. So, entities, move this guy up. Services. I should not be doing it this way. I really should not be. Oh well, already did it now. Let's take a look at our imports here. Yeah, look at the work is still good. Okay. So we need now another package down in our test. And we'll call it services because we're going to test our services there. Need a new class. We will call it card service tests. Okay, and we will do run with the Mockito JUnit runner dot class, and we will excuse me, jack to mocks, and we'll do this the card service impl card subject. And I already know I need at least one mock here. We're going to call it the card repository. Repository. Okay. And we can write a test. That's not how you spell test. Public void, and very similar to our controller, we're just going to call the repository, which is going to do all the work for us. So test should call find all and return list of cards. Okay, Command Shift O, let's get some imports going. There's our mock, and majority of stuff's there. Okay, so our test in this case is going to be very similar to what we saw in the last one there. It's going to be when card repository dot find all, then return, and I'm forgetting some things here, given when then we'll move this guy up. Alright, we also need a list of cards equals new array list. Okay, Command Shift O, let's get that stuff imported, and we'll have this return cards. Cool. That's the only mock we really need there, so we'll do this list of card result equals subject dot find all cards. I guess I could call this like find all because I mean it's in the card service, but makes sense either way. And we could then do our verify that result, nope, not result, that card repository dot find all dot find all. There we go. I'll verify that it's called one time, and we'll do an assertion here. Assert that result is, based on what we learned last time, not null value. And save it and Command Shift O. Import for that guy, and we'll make sure we have an import for this guy. There we go. Okay, so we need a couple things here. First of all, we need to create our actual class we're going to be testing, and we need to create our repository. Both very simple things to do. So let's start by creating our the stub, I guess the stub, if you will, for this guy here. Let's spell it right. Save that. And okay, so we're here. So let's go ahead and inside our services, we'll create the card service impl. Card service impl. And that's going to come from the card service. Okay, and that's all I need to do to test this guy, to actually get it to compile at least. And now I need another package. Whoops. Dot repositories. A new interface, which is going to be called the card repository. And it's going to come from the JPA repository. That's what I'm looking for. And you'll notice it has these things here. We'll fix that in just a second here. Needs to know the type, which the type is going to be working with this card. And the ID, if you remember, we're going to use UUIDs, so, or goods, or whatever you want to call them. string. So yeah, those are strings. Save it, and in fact, that's our repository we're going to use. That's the whole thing. So I suppose we can just go ahead and annotate that then. Repository. Okay, back to our test. Let's Command Shift O, and it imports. Let's do our import of our verify. Okay, and our import of our when. Okay, so there's our test. So that's good to go. Let's go into our, let's close a couple things down here. I don't need my controller. I don't need my controller test anymore. I need my service impl, which first I'm going to start with an annotation here, service. You'll notice it automatically created all this stuff for me when I created the class using that interface, so took some of the guesswork out of it for me. Let's go ahead and Autowired card repository. Okay, and let's go ahead and just get rid of that, and we'll say return card repository dot find all. You'll notice all these methods are available to me. That's because I created the repository using the by extending the JPA repository. So I just want to do find all. Okay, so all this will work. The only problem we're going to be having at the moment now. Well, I suppose I should run my unit test. Correct me. One moment. I should have ran it before I even wrote that code. That's okay. We're green. Anyway, as I was saying, this will work now. We'll actually go through, it'll query the database, get all the results back, return it. The bad part is we never mapped our database to anything, that card. So we need to do that. And I'm actually going to do that a little differently. I'm still going to make a card, like use that card class we created. But I know that every entity I create is going to have like an ID, which is going to be that GUID, or that UUID. So I'm actually going to create a base entity that any of my entities can extend and have that ID automatically. Okay, so I believe this is all I need. It's going to be abstract because it's going to be useless by itself. So let's go ahead and write this. Okay, so we got to annotate this thing first. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sonar. That always threw me off. Mapped superclass. Basically saying, hey, any class that extends me is going to use this mapping for the Java persistence. Okay, so I'm first going to create my ID, and I'm going to create a column. I don't think I really need to do a column in this case. I just like to be very explicit about things. I like to actually do this for every column. Hibernate and JPA and all those things are smart enough to figure this part out, but by itself, if you use a correct naming scheme, but I'm just going to explicitly do it. Protected, because I need to access it outside of this class. ID. And we're actually going to need a constructor here. So public base entity. And what we're going to do with that base entity is we're going to do this .id equals the UUID random UUID .toString. So basically what's happening here is whenever we create a new entity, it's going to go ahead and create an ID and stick it into this ID field for us. That way we don't have to worry about it no more. Alright, so now we can do our Command Shift O, get all our stuff here. Yes, that's Java persistence. Excuse me. We're going to do source, generator, getters, and setters. I'm probably going to go back in a future video, no spoiler alert, I suppose, and come through and get rid of all these getters and setters and just use lombok. So I don't have to see all this stuff here. Just use an annotation to get it all for me. But that is going to be definitely another video. Okay, So there's our base class for our entities. Let's go ahead and go to card now, and we will do the mapping here for this entity and be good to go. So entity at table name equals, and if you remember when we created our liquid-based script, it was cards. And we now have this class we need to extend, so base entity. There we are. And we need to go through and we first need a constructor, public card, just the generic, but we need to call super. All right, and we need our 3 fields that we have. So we have name, picture, and price. So let's do column name equals name, and we'll say private string name, and name is required. That's why I didn't do anything special there. So name equals picture. Now the picture is not going to be required. I might not have a picture of the card I have, which may seem kind of silly, but it's possible. So true, it will be nullable. And we'll call this private string picture. Because remember, picture is not going to be the actual picture. It is going to be a path to the picture. By path, that could mean like an S3 address or something along those lines. All right, anyway. So column name equals price. And I will always have a price when I set these things up. Whether it be $0 or what, it'll have something. And that's going to be a big decimal. And we'll call that price. Okay, let's save that. Does some of the imports for us. This, we want entity, we want table. There we go. So the next thing is going to be, I need my getters and setters. Source, getters and setters. Select all. Okay. Save it. And I believe that would be it. I think this will work. But we need a way to test this. We have nothing in our database. But, so if I look here, yeah, I have nothing in my database. But prior to making this video, I did do a little bit of planning and create a small little SQL script. So let's go ahead and run that. We'll do an insert. I should have 3 Pokemon cards in here. So we'll see them. They all have different UUIDs. These two look very similar, but they're different. You see right there. So, so we have Pikachu, Charizard, and Squirtle. We're expecting to see back. So let's go ahead and clear my. And I am thinking on where I'm at. Yep, PWD. Good, good. All right. So Gradle, boot run. So we can prove that this thing works real quick. And you can see I had some prep work going here. Just wait for it to build. Blah blah blah. Wait, I believe it's running. It is. Okay, so I'm expecting to have 3 cards back. I got nothing. Oh, that ain't good. Okay. That's probably because I'm missing that that part in my URL that says cards, which makes perfect sense. Cards. Run it. Not found. Ooh, now that is concerning. All right. So what's going on here? Let's see. We are running on port 8080. Yes. Okay, confirmed. We are hitting cards. Did I not name that right? Let's go back to our controller. It says cards. And we did this. Am I not doing a get method? I'm definitely doing a get method. This is interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, pause the video, figure out the problem, and when I come back, I'll have the answer. Thank you. Alright, everyone, I'm back. Turns out it was an absolutely ridiculous issue. That's kind of like turn back time so you can actually see the fix here. And it actually is kind of working. So if I do a slash at the end, you'll see I get the results back as expected. The reason for the error is because I have this here. So I'm appending a slash at the end. If I get rid of that slash, you'll see now that the request mapping defaults to slash cards, not slash cards, slash. So, silly mistake. Let me rebuild, kind of prove this out. And we'll call this one done. This task done. Well, this part of the task done. For you guys looking for the Angular, I will get there eventually. I know, I'm sorry. It's just when you start a new project, there's so many little things you have to get done. And I'm kind of doing them out of order too, because I should have had my continuous integration done first, and I should have everything ready to be Dockerized already, but yeah, I kind of wanted to make this more enjoyable to watch, so I did it in this order. Okay, so we'll see that the slash still works, and now we get rid of the slash, and there we go, 200. Cool. So that's it for this portion of this task. We actually have an API now that will give us all of our cards back. It's a manual entry, but you know, it's fine. No big deal there. So as I mentioned, next episode, we're going to do a little bit of testing, or I might go ahead and Dockerize this thing. Not sure what order I'm going to do it in. Honestly, it all depends on what seems more interesting at the time. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe. Please share the videos. I'll try to get as many viewers as I can, of course. Don't forget to comment. If you have any suggestions for things you want to see, feel free to let me know. I'll put my email address in the description as always, along with the link to the code. And you guys can reach out to me. All right. Thank you guys very much, and you guys have a nice weekend.